All right, what's good, everyone? What's good? We back with another one, opposite from the norm. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We got some real heavy stuff to talk about today. Me and my partner. Say what up to the people. My man HD.
What's up? What's up? HD in his house.
He over there grazing the pastures with his horse. That's why you hear that noise in the background.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so today, man, with the unfortunate news, I was hoping that it was a bunch of BS and people didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. But apparently, brother Earl Simmons, aka DMX, has been pronounced deceased. And first of all, we definitely want to say God rest his soul. Y'all give a
Definitely.
moment of silence to that brother, man, and send your love and condolences to his family. Um, Also,
All
we
his
just
kids,
yeah, his family, what I'm saying, real friends, of course. Um, we want to say before we get into the buffoonery of people, we want to just say, man, the brother, he may have had his addiction that he was fighting for a long time throughout his whole entire life, basically. He still tried his
right.
best to show love and, what I'm saying, encourage others and praying for others, man. I think that was the most important thing you can think of. His music still touched a lot of people, his personality, his light shined on other people. And I think that's not something that you can just sleep on. I just don't appreciate that you have so many people out here that want to talk down on the brother. Like, he already gone. So you talking down on him is gonna do what? You telling other people not to show him love is really gonna do what? It's just gonna make you look like a stupid asshole. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I seen this cat named Charleston, whatever that sellout nigga name is. He was talking shit about
I'm with you.
DMX, and then the dumbass female on that be on Star Show sometimes with Ronnie. She was talking shit about the man, and
What you
you know
said
what I'm saying?
earlier about his whole life, like I had told you earlier before, the show, apparently he had been battling, you know, drug addiction since 14 years old. With him passing away at 50, he had been dealing with that over basically you could say majority of his whole life.
Yeah,
Well over 30 years of this because it was introduced to him by an older friend or whatever that he used to be with. And when you think about also the things that he dealt with beyond drugs, the physical abuse, that he grew up with having and living in different group homes and things like that. That man went through a lot of difficulties at an early age that a lot of us didn't have to go through or know nothing about. And then, he caught fame and money at a young age as well. So just think about that. You're dealing with physical abuse, you're dealing with drug abuse, homelessness, and then you just get thrust into this world of millions of dollars and fame overnight. That's a lot for anybody to deal with. That like a regular person, that's a lot for a regular person, let alone someone who has been fighting drug addiction since 14. So we had to put that in perspective too. That once you become rich and famous, that comes with a lot of trouble too. All these family members and friends coming out of nowhere asking for money. The groupies that he has to deal with. The music industry, the shady people who want to act like they're your friend and really not. These record executives who are shady. Like all the stuff that you gotta deal with. Learning how to be famous. Learning how to deal with having millions of dollars, and not going bankrupt. Like that man had a lot going on in his life early on, and it's just really sad that he is gone at such a young age of 50. And I personally am really sad because I thought that he was getting himself back together. I had seen him recently talking about the new album he was working on. Him and Swizz working on it together. Swizz by his side. It looked like he had put back on some weight. So I thought that he was really in good spirits. I thought that he was, making a turnaround. He was starting to connect with some of the younger generation of rappers out there. and to see this happen just last week is just really hard. It's really hurtful.
Um, but it is what it is, man. You try your best to remember people in a good light and try not so much to worry about the ignorance people say. Like I said, he touched more people in a good way than the ignorant people trying to find some reason just to come out and say the dumbest shit you can think of. You know what I'm saying? Because it's plenty of people, especially somebody like Ronnie, like her and the other nigga. They spend a lot of time just talking shit about other people all the time. So this is not coming from most likely people that have good spirits in the first place. They get off on negative energy anyways, and those are the type of people you gotta usually gotta get out your life and get out your, you know what I'm saying, get out your way in your environment, period. You know what I'm saying? Not being around those type of people just spewing all that ignorant shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know, he had his addiction and stuff that he was dealing with, and I really feel sorry about is that not to really bring it all the way up, but the situation with his son, man, like
Yeah, yeah,
the mother and Ayana trying to coach him on what he should, and this, it's like, listen, you sometimes you just have to love people from a distance, but that don't mean he had to cut off all communications. It could be like, you know what I'm saying, like I can't see you like that, but we can chat on the phone every once in a while. At least that. Just talk on the phone and see how you doing. I don't want to see you go through that, but we can just talk on the phone or something like that. But the child to give somebody an ultimatum that you need to get clean, and it's like that's coming from your mother. You 20 years old. What do you know about real addiction and how to really
right.
deal with it? And some people overstep their boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So now, like he said, you just gonna see him at his funeral. He said that. He predicted that.
And with Ayala, however you say her name, and his mother, they're older than him. Because you made a great point. The son, 20 years old, right? They should know better that when you're dealing with somebody who has issues, who has problems with addiction, giving them ultimatums is the worst thing to do. You're not going to win when you're dealing with someone who's an addict by giving them an ultimatum. They don't want to
Right,
hear that. That's the worst thing that you can do. They need love and they need positive, not someone saying it's either me or the drugs. That's not a fight that you're going to win. So the mother and this Ayala, I don't understand why they would push the son to come at his dad like that. It just makes no sense.
right. But I mean, you got people that think that's how you supposed to do, but it's like, man, that man been on that having to fight that addiction before you was even born, before he even got with your mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, beside his grandmother passed away, so that hurt him the most. So you actually thought that you can battle the drug addiction, which was there when for him to use as a coping mechanism since his grandmother had died? No. So, like I said, I mean, he told him, "How can you put conditions on love?" Which I understand. It's like, yo, I'm not gonna deal with you any kind of when you treat me any kind of way. But he was like, "Have I ever done X, Y, Z to you?" He was like, "Yeah, but you doing stuff and talking to women in front of me hurt me because you hurt my mother." And it was like, see, that's where you fucked up at. Everything you're talking about had nothing to do with you directly. It was indirectly. You talking about your mother, and your mother set a landmine that messed up y'all relationship. So we saying this to say, when y'all dealing with somebody, if you see they got addiction, God forbid, don't try to make them do stuff that you want them to do. Sometimes you can only deal with people from afar. You can still talk to them, show them love. I mean, unless they really abusive. But like I said, in the DMX situation, he wasn't. His son couldn't say nothing about him hurting him. So that's where it was a problem at.
And you have to let them know that you're in their corner. Because once again, when someone has an addiction problem, they don't want to hear ultimatums. They want to know that you got they back. That's all they want to hear is that you got they back. Even like you said, dealing with them from afar, you can deal with them from afar, but still let them know, hey, I got your back. I may not want to see you like this in person, but we can talk on the phone, we can Skype, we can FaceTime, but I'm still in your corner. That's how they should have been directing that, regardless of the fact of what his relationship was with the mother. That's over and done with. DMX
Mm-hmm.
had done moved on and got with someone else. If I'm incorrect, I could be corrected, but I believe he had got remarried at one time. Like he had moved on with his life. But the point is he's trying to have a relationship with you. That's what matters. That he's trying to have a
Yeah.
relationship with you, his son. He made his mistakes. Him and your mother didn't work out, okay, for whatever reason. But now he's trying to have a relationship with you. Let him know you in on his side. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, to like you said earlier, to all the people who are trying to say negative things about DMX and make jokes about him, like I said to you earlier, the number one thing for me is when someone passes away, everybody gonna come out and say all these nicey stuff, even if they don't mean it. But what do people say about that person when they're alive? And for me, keeping up with him over the years, all these rappers that's in the rap community, I can't remember ever hearing any negative thing being said. If we take the drug part out, because yes, people would say, you know, X has a problem or X has an addiction. I hope he gets better. But I've never heard anyone say anything negative about this man. He was a loving person, he was giving, and he always wanted to speak to others for help. Yeah, he needed help himself, but he also wanted to see other people get better too. Even if he wasn't in the best of shape himself, he still wanted others to get themselves better, and he wanted to share his, his trials and tribulations with other people so that maybe that can make their life better. So the brother had a great and huge heart. And you know, when he used to do his concerts and he used to speak on stage and he used to cry, that was from a real place. So that man had a huge heart, and that's what he should be remembered by. Yes, he had a fatal flaw that ended up taking his life, unfortunately, but all the good that he said and did should definitely not be overshadowed by what took his life.
Yeah. So definitely, man, just pray for his family and real friends that always stayed in his corner versus worrying about what everybody else had to say. They just showed him love. So definitely, man, rest in peace to saying Earl Simmons, aka DMX. Sad to see you go like this, my brother. Young brother, but thankfully he was able to enjoy his life like a lot of us don't do. You know what I'm saying?